Hi. I'm just going to go through some of the steps on what we're doing today with the couching and embellishing of this small Luella clutch. So first of all, what you will need to have is, excuse me, the Luella clutch. So this is the one that I'm working on today. It's a great little purse. It's fabulous for using for all different kinds of things. I have one that I take around with me, putting my makeup and bits and pieces in rather, and also have used it as a little bag just to take around little bits of sewing and things in as well. So it's good to use for all kinds of little things, and depending on how you embellish it, it's a great little one to take out. It's a little evening purse as well. It does come with a little wrist strap and everything, but all of those items are included in the kit. So let's get started. So first of all, I guess I want to draw your attention to the fact that on our website I have got up there some embellishment packs, so it is possible for you to go there and you can recreate exactly what we are doing here today. So I'll start off with just showing you one of the colourways that I have got there, and this one. It's done in sort of some orangey colours. It's called Blushed. It has some pieces of wool, felted wool, and some Liberty fabric in there as well. And you do need to go to the website to download our hearts template. That is free, and this is one of my first versions of it, so you can see I've actually cut it out, testing it out and everything, but that is free download on the website, so you can get the heart template there. One of the other things that we need to get ready is preparing the fabrics. So in the package, if you purchase one from us, or you can get your own fabric, but I've used felted wool, so I've used the Wonderful wool, Alana wool, and these are just two different coordinating pinks that I've got there. I can't remember the numbers off the top of my head, but they are on the website, and also I've combined it with a piece of Liberty fabric. So once you've got those ready, and you need to fuse them with fusible web. So because fusible web comes in our embellishment packs as well. So fuse the web on to the wool and onto the fabric. That's really easy to fuse that. But when it comes to fusing the wool fabric, I do find it a little bit trickier. Definitely best to iron the fusible web side rather than the wool side. So if you do that way, then the glue melts easier and it gets a much better adhesion. Second thing we need to do then is actually tracing around our hearts template. And for this little one here, I've used two large hearts and two small hearts. And so I've cut out one large heart and one small heart in each colourway, and then a couple of the ones in the floral fabric. So get those ready, cut those out, which will be something like these. Get your pieces ready, and then we're actually just going to set those aside for a little while. So then once we've got that ready, we'll get our kit again, our Luella. We'll take that apart, and when we undo it, it looks something like this. Now I like to, first of all, when I open up my kit, because it's been folded for a while, it does tend to have some crease marks in there. I like to spray it with a spray starch first of all, and that helps to eliminate the creases. So I give it a good spray. My favourite one is the Lemon Myrtle. That's by Epiflex, or the Quilting Patch. Love their Lemon Myrtle, and I give it a good spray, and usually use a cotton, so fairly warm iron, but just be a bit careful. I find the best way to do it is by putting the spray starch on there. It does give the felt a little bit of maybe lubricant, not quite the right word, but it just gives that little bit of protection on there as well. So spray it, get it all nice and flat, and then we're going to start with our couching. So what I did earlier was I started to get some ready. And this is one that I'm going to continue working on a bit more. But I'll show you. So the blue one, this one here, I've got quite sort of more formal lines on it. And actually I'll open it up so you can see. So the Luella small clutch is so simple to put together. As you can see, I'm just taking it apart here. It just has these 4 really simple little seams here in the side, and that forms our Luella clutch. So, and this one you'll see I've got quite sort of more formal lines in that, and I have it here so you can see how I've done it that way, and then when it folds up you get those nice sort of cross-hatched lines through it. So that's it before we start putting our hearts on there, but that's doing it a bit more formal way. This one is more random. So you really, once you get started, you can just kind of go wherever you like. Another one is kind of a little bit more geometric bit to it. And the same with this one. So it really is just you experimenting and doing what you like with it. I have started this one as well and just throwing this one in to show you, but it's at the beginnings of one of our Georgia clutches, and it comes as this great long piece, and it actually folds up, has gusset pieces as well, but will end up looking something like that. So that one is a different one again that you can do some couching on, and that's its facing, so you can have fun. So we're going to get started, and I'll show you a little bit here about what I've been doing. I'm using a Fabulux thread by Wonderfil. It's gorgeous. I love this one. It's a 40 weight trilobal polyester thread, so it's got a nice luster to it, but it's super strong. But I'm just loving these neon colours that it comes in. There's 5 different neon colours, and they are just divine. Well, I think they are. So, as you can see, this is the orange one here, and I have used the green neon, the yellow neon in that one, blue neon here, and this gorgeous pink colour as well. But a bit later at the end, I will show you all of those different threads. So I've got our Fabulux on here. We do need to have an open toe foot. So the open toe foot looks like that, and that has this really big gap here so we can see where we're going. This also has an indentation in here, and that keeps the threads from sliding too far away on either side. So we have our open toe foot, and I'll reattach that back on there. Best stitch to use is a zigzag stitch, and I like to make it a 4 in the width and 2 in the length, because we don't want it too tight. We don't want satin stitch or anything like that. We want our lower thread, the base threads, to show through. Some of my design, some of these couching ones that I have done, I have used one strand, I've used one colour only, and I have used 3 strands of it. So with this one here, just excuse me while I grab the thread. This one, I have used just this ball of eleganza as my base, and then I've used the neon colour on the top. That's this one here, and that gives you this really more of a matte effect, but I love using the variegated colour through there because it just gives a little bit of different interesting texture to it. With this one here, this one I'm going to continue working on a bit more. I know it's a little hard to see, but the threads that I'm using there are Razzle and Dazzle. So I've got one strand of Dazzle thread, and Dazzle has a little bit of metallic through there, so it does give this tiny little bit of pop through there. I have a Razzle, and that's the solid Razzle, so that's nice and shiny. And then I've used the variegated Razzle as well. And I like to have the combination of those 3. So throughout the couching then you'll get these subtle little changes of colour, and also the little bit of sparkle through there. So I'll pop these back into my bowl. So I have them just sitting here in the front with me, and I have them just in this little bowl here, and they just sit there. And I get all 3 threads. So I've got them all grouped together in my hand. And then we just need to work out where we're going to start. So I've already done quite a bit on this project here. And what I have found is for your starting point, it's a good idea to start either in one of the side seams here, because that will actually then end up being enclosed. Or if you want to start right at the center point here, that will then be covered over with our tab closure when we get to that. So looking at this and deciding where I'd like to do some more stitching, I'm going to start in the center. And now I will just angle the camera down a bit lower so you can have a look, but I'll just pop my presser foot down and bring you over a little closer so you can see what I'm doing. So I've got my threads here at the back, and I've got my polyfast on the top, and now I'll just start by holding here in my right hand a little bit, but just secure them. So I'm just holding them there as we get started, and then once I've done that, they're secure, then I can just pull out my 3 threads and just stitch. So I can hold the threads and just move around and then fill in as much or as little as I want. So you can see I've just got the 3 threads nice and flat. This project, the Luella Small, is a great one to start with because it's a small size and it fits in easily here, and you can easily maneuver it around. So I'll just do a little bit more here, and then I'll come to a point here where I'm going to turn. And when I turn, you need to have the needle down, and depending on which way you want to turn. So I'm going to turn this way. And so by turning that way, I've got my needle still down, and then I'm pulling my threads around the needle, so the needle's holding the threads there, and then I just lay the 3 threads flat again and decide where I'm going to stitch. So just being a little careful as we start off again, and then we just stitch down. So you can see there, quite simple, but it does give a really very, very effective look to the base here. So we'll just stitch a bit more, and you can see. So just holding those threads nice and flat. So when you do curves, it really is just a matter of just gently moving. Right, so I'm going to turn again. So just have a look here. You can see what I'm doing. Just turn that around once more, and we will just head back over. Ooh, where will I go? Oh, I might go down here. No, here. So just once again at that corner, lay them nice and flat, and then we just stitch. So you don't want to go super fast, you do want to be a little careful with what you're doing. And then when we come to the edge, we just keep stitching. So keep going, keep going, keep going. And once we've stitched a bit, then we can cut. And cut the thread away. So cut that there. That's my threads. So now we've got actually 3 little pieces here that we need to deal with. They will get sewn into the side, but one of the best ways to deal with them right now is to fold it under. So these are our pieces here. Fold those under, back on top of where it came from, and then let's just stitch over them again with still the zigzag while we can, and we'll just tuck that away. Cut off the excess there, and so that's just tucking that away. So I'll do this next one. You don't need to go too far because it will get tucked away again, hidden away in our seam. Just cover it up there. Again, cut away our thread. And, oh, sorry, we have 2 more to do. So, do this one. So, back on top of the back, behind. And you can feel the threads there as well. So, just get that started there. And for this one at the top, because this is actually where we started, I've got these 3 strands or 4 strands here. And what I found the best thing to do with those is we just go back here and we will zigzag over the top of those to keep them all together. So you can see, just zigzag over those. Get to the end, we'll cut those off. And then we'll repeat and do the same thing again, except with this one, we're going to tuck the strands back on the top because that's where our closure is going to go. So we'll just start again, putting these strands back on the top. So we'll start there. Oops, I'll just go back. So, done. Now we're ready to do the next part, which is our applique. So I'll just pause there for a moment so you can see that's our Luella small prepared. On the back here, we will just cut away these little excess bits. So we don't need that there, and we don't need that. And cut those away. So that's what we're left with. Now the thread that I have used on the back side here is Wonderfil's Deco Bobs, and you can see that just is an absolute dream. The Deco Bob is an 80 weight cottonized polyester thread, and it comes as pre-wound bobbins. They look like so they look like those. So you can see I've used half of this packet already, so they are absolutely awesome to use, and just the tension is perfect on them because they're pre-wound in the factory, and then they just pop in and never have a problem with your bobbin. So you can see they're awesome. So Deco Bob bobbins, Fabulux thread, and Razzle and Dazzle. Beautiful favourite threads. So I'll come back, I'm going to pause there and I'll come back and show you the next step in our applique. Thank you.